What's up, guys? Mirage here with another Talk Tuesday. Today's topic is about murder as a topic in rap. And what can we do about it? How do I feel about it? We'll dive into it all right now. So, Trevino's question was about what is my opinion on the glorification of murder in rap, and what's my suggestion on how we can make that better? Like, how can we change that? And I guess what I would say to that is it reminds me of the Friday movies from the 90s, where I think it was Pops, rest in peace, Pops. He actually said something to the effect of, you can go and shoot someone and end somebody's life, or you can fight and then you can live to fight another day, even if you lose. And there's lessons in losing. And there's a lot of people afraid of losing. There's a whole lot in that. I won't go into detail with that. But, right now, it's like if there's a fight, if there's a problem, it's like I'm going to end you. So on the music, it's I will end you. I'll take your life, all this kind of stuff, which is like permanent. But then it's not funny, but it's crazy because they say that in the music. But then when we see the actual effects in Chicago, in New York, the gangs, all the stuff and all the people dying, everybody's sad. Everybody's grieving the losses of everybody who dies. The entire hood, not just the victim family, just like everybody. So it's like nobody wants that life no more. And Kendrick is like a mind who comes out and talks about the gang banging, how his friends died, his family were shot. And he gives that story, right? A story of mercy, a story of, I was a victim of this stuff to my friends and family. I think he even has a song where he's holding somebody while they're bleeding out, dying because they got shot. And that's the kind of stuff that gives people a different perspective. So to answer your question, I think that what we need is balance, right? Because there's some people who are telling their story and it has some gangbang, it has some killing and stuff in their story, and that's cool. But the whole glorification of it and I'll kill you, I'm harder than you, all this and that, like I don't really see how that benefits anyone. And I feel like the conscious music or the music that is thought-provoking and the from a different perspective, the opposite perspective of that, of the gun violence, of the other violence. I feel like that kind of stuff is what weighs the other stuff down, creating that balance I'm talking about. And that is when we can actually, kind of choose what we want to listen to. Like some people grew up in the streets and they're like, I really vibe with and understand the mentality of the gangbanger. I used to be a gangbanger. And they want to listen to that. Some of those same gangbangers want to listen to the positive music and they want to change their life and they want to have a different mentality, or they're open to a different mentality. So I'm not going to say that there's not room for anybody's story, because there is. I just think that there's a way to create that balance, and there's other ways to problem solve our issues as well, like man to man, whatever, or, as a group, as a society, there's ways to solve our issues other than that kind of violence. And so I think there's creative ways, there's different ways without it being like just boring or uninteresting to share that of how we can do that. And I think there's artists already doing that. Like I mentioned before, you got your Commons, you got your Lupes, you got your Chance the Rappers, and people rock with these artists. Kanye changed the game coming out in an era where it was mainly that style of hip hop, the gangsta hip hop. I'll kill you, bro. You don't want to run up on me. Actually, I remember 50 Cent's CD Massacre came out the same exact day that Kanye's Graduation came out. And I caught both albums. I like both artists. But of course, 50 is coming from the streets. He's talking about, I'll kill you. They killed my homies and I'm not about that life. Kanye is backpack rapper, quote unquote. He's talking about, his mom dying on the album. He's talking about change. He's talking about, do you realize that you are a champion? And he's talking about that. Like he's got a whole different vibe on that album. And if I'm not mistaken, I think they both were pretty highly critically acclaimed. But I think Graduation was the winner in terms of how well it was received. And so that just goes to show that people are yearning for a different message, a more positive message, a message that's going to help us move forward and help us to accomplish more goals. So I would encourage all the artists out there to stay positive and find creative ways to put that in your music as well, so we can find that balance and find different creative ways to tell our story. If it does have some of that violence and some of that trauma in the history, how can we share that in a better way? All right, hope that was helpful. Peace.